Over this past number of months, I was speaking to the great and the good of entertainment, and many others as well, indeed. I've got a gentleman now online whose repertoire and his the appreciation which his peers have for him is indeed second to none. He's regarded as a maestro of the accordion, not alone that of singing, of entertaining. He has appeared on countless TV shows, radio. He's also played with Ireland's top entertainers, including Mike Denver, Robert Mazzell, Jimmy Buckley, Declan Nerney, PJ Murray, Eamon McCann, numerous others. I'm delighted to say a big hello to the one and only Declan Aungier. Declan, how are you?
I'm very good. Good afternoon, Jerry, and good afternoon to all your listeners. How are you doing?
Declan, great. Listen, how are you going yourself? I mean, you were a busy lad. You were a busy lad for many, many years, up until the sudden lockdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did my last gig on, I think it was the 10th of March, down in Kildare in Waterford. It was a Tuesday night, which would be a quiet night normally for dancing and stuff here in Ireland. But there would be a few gigs, and we had a great night, we had a great crowd, and they danced all night. And I came home, and I haven't played one note in public since that time. And I did my first ever paid professional gig with a band in here in Ireland, and on Easter Sunday 1987. And so I've been on the road since that time, and now, just for the last 3 months, absolutely nothing. It's a bit of a shock. It's a huge shock to the system, to be quite honest. And we can only hope that at some stage in the not too distant future, things might kind of get back to where we can get back out on the road and do some bit of music. Indeed
so. One of the things which most singers and entertainers say to me is the thing that they miss the most is that the fact of meeting people, all the people you meet and all the friends you make.
That is true, because I mean, there's a massive social aspect to entertainment, certainly here in Ireland, the entertainment that we would have done. And luckily enough, I suppose social media has been a huge help, because you can be in touch with people now that maybe will come dancing to you, maybe in Bantry or in Cork or over in Galway or Kerry or Tipperary or wherever. You can, with WhatsApp and Facebook and Messenger and all those sort of things, and the trusted old phone number, you can give somebody a call and say, how are you doing? And I think I'm not alone in saying it myself, and several of the other entertainers. We make a couple of calls every week to different people and just check in and see how you're doing. And because you miss the buzz of, the whole business of being outgoing and out and meeting people and having the fun. That's a big loss. Indeed it is. That's a huge thing.
Were you actually doing a one-man show before the lockdown, Declan?
Yes. I was in bands and everything there, as you said, for years. I spent most time with John Hogan back in the 90s, and Jimmy Buckley then as well, Dave Lawler, and I started with Matt Levy, terrific country singer.
Indeed.
And the last band I was in on a full-time basis was Isla Grant's band.
Yes.
And I left that. I started doing a little bit of solo work, and that sort of snowballed. In actual fact, the last band I ever was in, it was a band that was put together for a Mediterranean cruise back in 2007. And it was myself, Matt Levy, Nigel Connell, who went on to be Daniel O'Donnell's drummer. He's a fine entertainer of his own right. He's with an Eagles tribute band now. And the front man was Larry Cunningham.
Right. Wow.
And that was the band we had, and we had a great time. And that was actually great, because I played with Larry before, I knew him well, but the first record I ever bought in my life was a Larry Cunningham record. So I felt things had kind of gone full circle.
Indeed, haven't they just? No, not alone, not alone, I mean, you highly regarded and highly accomplished accordion player and entertainer, but you've also written material.
Yeah, I've written stuff on and off, and I've a folder of songs here that I haven't put out yet, and I've sort of songs 3/4 finished, and I've written a lot of accordion tunes and stuff like that as well, in all sorts of styles, Irish and Scottish, and one or two continental pieces, things like that. It's I enjoy writing. When the creative juices start to flow, when you start to write stuff and things are going well, there's nothing like it in the world. It's great, and it's a strange thing to hear somebody else sing one of your songs. A song that I wrote there a number of years ago was "The Midlands of Ireland."
Yes,
and covered by good few artists, and Sean Wilson did it too. And every time I hear Sean on the radio doing it, God, it's a strange thing to hear someone singing something you've written yourself. But nice, very nice, I have to say.
Indeed, yeah. Glenn Flynn, your old buddy, has also recorded some of your material on the duets from Mayo.
That's right. The duets, actually, Tommy and Kathy, they came to me one time and they said, we like the Midlands of Ireland, but Glenn has it out. I actually wrote that when I was working with Glenn. And we said, could you write me something in the same vein? So I wrote one for them called My County Mayo Home. And I actually haven't even listened to that song. I have it here on their CD. That was a nice song. It was a nice sort of a country and Irish quick step. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I've played it I've played it many times. I can tell you it's very popular. Good. Very, very popular song. Good. It really is. Well done on that. Now, your influences sort of on the accordion thing are some of the greats: Jimmy Shand, Dermot O'Brien, the Gallowglass Kelly Band, Fintan Stanley.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I grew up listening to all of those. My father was a fiddle player, but I think to be honest, he was a kind of an accordion player at heart. He actually did have an accordion when he was young, and it got stolen on him.
Right.
But he wasn't able to keep it up. But when we all got old enough here in Kildare, he sent all the family, myself, my two brothers, got sent for accordion lessons. And when I started to get really interested in it, I opened the record cabinet at home, and basically it was an avalanche of Dermot O'Brien records. And that was just the very best thing that could possibly happen to me, because it was a wealth of learning. Yes. In those records, and I can tell you that was back about 1983, and I'm still working my way through them, because they were just great stuff. They were.
Dermot O'Brien he really was one of the trailblazers on the accordion back in the day, and a huge artist.
He was incredibly popular. He was very important, because up until Dermot came on the scene, an accordion player was a fellow who sat in with a Cayley band and played along with half dozen other musicians, and that's fine. But Dermot stepped out on his own and gave us a whole load of solo accordion pieces, and had a lovely way of playing. I mean, Dermot O'Brien could play a selection of tunes for somebody who might not be an out-and-out fan of traditional Irish music.
Yes.
But they'd like the way Dermot would play them. They mightn't listen at all if some other group maybe was playing a more traditional type group, but he had a lovely way of playing his tunes, and it was accessible to all sorts of listeners.
Indeed it was. He certainly was a trailblazer. And the other thing which Dermot O'Brien did was he conquered America in a big way. He was a huge artist across the US.
He did, and I actually caught up with that to a certain extent, because every year, in the latter couple of years of his life, I think the last 10 or 15 years anyway, he played on Andy Cooney's cruise of Irish Stars around the Caribbean. And when Dermot passed away, Andy approached me to know would I do a week on the cruise, take Dermot's slot. So I said, okay, I'll do it for 1 year, we'll see how we go. And I think I've 10 or 11 of them done now. So It was nice to sort of step into those shoes. Big shoes to fill, but I went out there, did my own thing, and yeah, it was great. Really enjoyable. That is
fabulous. Yeah, that is big shoes to fill, because Dermot O'Brien was he's one of the all-time greats. And as you say about all of the albums that he actually released, there was huge catalogue of material that he actually wrote, and also the musical pieces that he played was astounding over the years.
He was, and the funny thing, and I had this discussion with him. He said, for all the accordion playing, he said, and I'd always been known as Dermot O'Brien, the accordion player. He says, the things that did the best business for me were the songs, the Galway Shawl, and the Claddagh Ring, and the Boys of Killybegs, and the Merry Ploughman, of course.
Yes,
they were huge. And even though he says I'll never be known as the singer, I'll always be Dermot O'Brien, the accordion player. But the thing that did the biggest business was the songs.
It was, yes, it was indeed. I mean, like the Turfman from RD and all of those songs, absolutely huge.
Yeah, he wrote some great stuff. He wrote that Dublin 62. I thought that was a gorgeous song.
Yes, he did. Fantastic. He did. He wrote some other incredible songs, no doubt about it. He was one absolutely incredible artist. And unfortunately, sometimes I think he's not mentioned or recognised enough for his the sheer abilities that he had.
That's true. I suppose that's quite possible, and I think it's unfortunate, because when he was really, really big was back in almost the days before TV got started in Ireland, and certainly in the early days of it. And all those, he did a ton of great TV shows back in the 60s, Jamboree and things like that. And none of them, of course, were recorded.
Yes.
They all went out live or were taped over.
Indeed.
And so there's no archive. They can't go back and show again, how great he actually was, But look, at least we have the LPs from that time.
Indeed.
We'll have to settle for that.
Indeed so. He did. He had some incredible stuff. But listen, at the minute, you're are you doing any Facebook Live things or anything like that, Declan?
No, I don't do Facebook. I'm just basically sitting it out here now, doing a lot of practice at home. Funnily enough, I used to play the piano accordion up to about 20 years ago or so, and I switched then to the button accordion, the 5-row button accordion. But funny enough, just as the lockdown came in, I fell back in love with the piano accordion again, and I've been practicing away for the last couple of months here every day, trying to keep my head right and working on new stuff and all that sort of thing. And mind you, I had to sit down the other day and write out the program of songs that I do, because if I didn't do that, I'd be afraid I'd forget what songs that were in the program and what came next and all that sort of thing. So
somebody else actually said the exact same thing to me, that they actually wrote out their program of material. Which is astounding, because it was something that it was something before this that you knew off the top of your head.
Oh, absolutely. But I was lucky enough. I did a bit of route around here during the week, and I found 4 or 5 DVDs of myself live.
Right.
And going back here, so I was able to put them on. Oh God, there were songs on it I'd forgotten that I used to do. You know what I mean? So it was great to have that, to look back at that. So I was able to square up the program, and I've written out a couple of things, little prompts for songs and things like that. So whenever we get back in business, I'll be able to hopefully get back into the swing again pretty quick.
Indeed, fair play. Well, you're well done on all the success. I mean, you've blazed a trail in music and in appearances, like with other artists first of all, and then doing your own show. You mainly do the social dancing scene.
That's it. Social dancing is big here in Ireland. When I went full time at the music back in '91, I went into the country band scene. That's what I wanted to do at the time, and I had a lot of great years with all those guys. As I say, Matt Levy, Jimmy Buckley, John Hogan, Dave Lawler, Johnny Lockery. I was with Johnny for about a year, so Johnny was great. Yes. And then finished up with Isle of Grant. But then I started doing my own thing back about 15 years ago or thereabouts. And because I suppose, apart from anything else, when I was in the bands, I was playing a lot of keyboards and stuff like that, and that's great too. But I loved the accordion, so I knew if I was going to go solo, I'd play the accordion all the time. So that's exactly what happened. And it's good. It's gone pretty good now. We've been up until the lockdown. It's been very successful.
Right, well done, fair play. And by the way, we were speaking of Dermot O'Brien earlier on. You had you recorded the song O'Brien from RD.
That's right. I wrote that after he passed away, and I was just about, at that time, that would have been 19 nothing. It would have been 2007, and he had just passed away, and I was just about to start really going out doing my own gigs and doing nothing else. And I wrote the song. I wasn't going to write it, first of all. I didn't think I should. But then a couple of bits of the song came to me, and I started writing down and putting some stuff together in my head, and I put it together, and I sang it at a couple of gigs for people, and they go, "My God, that's lovely." I didn't think it was lovely. I just thought it was just okay. But people liked it, and I recorded it, and it came out, and it did pretty good, I have to say. And it was just the right song. Just at that time, I was finishing up being a member of anybody else's band. I was going fully at I had done a good few solo gigs up to then, but I was going fully at the solo stuff. So the song just came at the right time.
Indeed, well done on it all. And when do you think you'll get back? You're probably the same as everybody else. You just do not know when it's going to happen.
Oh God, I mean, it's so hard to know. And I'm aware of the fact that England is different to Ireland. We'd be quietly hoping we might get doing a bit around the back part of this year. I do see there's a big country music concert advertised for, I think it's
Ballymena,
Shearwater and Ballinasloe for September. possibly we might get playing a little bit. I don't know. Maybe down in Lisdoonvarna in September. I don't know. It's just so hard to say.
Indeed.
It's just so hard to say because there's no bit of encouragement at all for musicians or for dancers at the moment, and it's just so difficult. I mean, how could you possibly? You can't dance with somebody and be 2 meters or even 1 meter away from them.
Yes.
So realistically, that's going to have to be. I just don't know. Maybe with a mask and gloves.
Maybe
that'd be down to the dancers. And in fairness, any of the dancers I spoke to, they're mad anxious to get back. And a lady rang me last week. I didn't even know who she was, and she said, "When do you think it'll be back?" And blah blah blah. I said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "If there was a dance nearby and you had to go, and you wanted to go, and you had to wear a mask and gloves, would you go?" "Oh, I'd be gone flying," she said.
Right.
So
okay.
maybe that's what's going to have to happen for a couple of months.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's hard to know.
Maybe.
It's hard to know. Let's keep fingers crossed, and that we can all stay safe and well. Declan, this has been lovely to catch up with you. Wishing you
and you as well. Yeah.
Wishing you health and happiness and loads more success, and as they say, stay safe.
Thank you very, very much, Jerry. Great to chat to you, and good afternoon to all your listeners. I hope everybody's safe and I hope everybody's well, and I hope to see you all out back doing a bit of dancing and listening to a bit of music in the not too distant future.